Stay with that moment. A person feels unmistakably familiar. Details begin to return: where you met, what they do, perhaps a past conversation, while one ordinary word refuses to arrive. That uneven failure has been recorded outside the laboratory, in hundreds of everyday recognition mistakes. But it does not mean every memory of a person returns as one complete package. So why can familiarity open so much of the file while its label stays unreadable? To answer that, we have to open the case and follow what returns, step by step. You see someone and think, I know this person. Then a few details come back: what they do, where you usually see them. But their name still will not come. In a classic study, 22 people recorded 922 everyday problems with recognizing people over 7 weeks. The records held the same uneven pattern: personal information could be available while the name was missing. Across those records, researchers found no case in which a name returned without any other information about the person. So what connects these parts, and why is the name the one that gives way? One influential model breaks person recognition into separate stages. First, a face feels familiar. Next, information about the person can become available. Only after that does the model place the retrieval of a name. That order is the model's proposal, not something the diaries themselves established, a model built to explain a pattern, not a map of where memories live. It does not claim the brain follows a rigid line. Part of the answer lies in the links attached to a word. An occupation such as baker already carries meaning: bread, ovens, early mornings. The same word used as a surname tells you far less. Classic experiments used labels that could serve as either occupations or surnames, and people recalled them more easily when they had been learned as occupations. Other work found that giving a name a meaningful connection could reduce the disadvantage. So a name is not hard because the word itself is complex. It is vulnerable because it offers fewer routes back than the facts around it. The face is a different case. A large body of research shows that part of the visual system responds in a specialized way to faces, reacting more to them than to other objects. In brain imaging studies, one region in particular stood out this way in most of the people tested. But that does not mean faces are stored there, or that this single area creates the whole sense of familiarity. It is one specialized node inside a wider network, evidence that faces recruit specialized visual processing, not an account of why the name later goes missing. A name can also fail more selectively than other words. After certain brain injuries, some people still recognize a familiar person and can describe who they are, yet cannot produce the person's name, while their use of ordinary words may remain far less affected. That suggests retrieving a unique name relies on processes partly separable from recognizing the person and recalling the rest. Injury studies have often linked this difficulty to left anterior temporal regions, including the temporal pole. But the brain holds no proven name box. The precise anatomy remains debated, and the evidence supports partial separation, not a single route that has been completely mapped. There is a smaller, everyday version of this. A name is right there, a certainty that you know it, and still it will not come. This is the tip of the tongue state, a strong feeling of knowing, sometimes with fragments of the sound, a first letter or a rhythm, while the whole word stays out of reach at that moment. One account holds that the links carrying a word's sound can weaken, leaving the name briefly hard to reach, a proposal, not a settled mechanism. Even so, a tip of the tongue report does not by itself show that a complete, intact memory has simply been blocked. Sometimes the difficulty may begin earlier, when the name is first learned. If the initial link between a person and that label is weak, later retrieval may have fewer useful cues to draw on. But this is only one possible contributor. The evidence does not show that every familiar face, missing name experience began with weak encoding. One careful note before we close. Tip of the tongue states are common and become more frequent with age. Difficulty retrieving proper names can also occur in Alzheimer's disease and other conditions. But a 2026 systematic review concluded that evidence is still insufficient to establish the diagnostic accuracy of name retrieval tasks. An everyday lapse is not a diagnostic test. The model offers a narrower explanation. Personal information may become available before a name. It is not a rule for every act of recognition. Next time a name stalls, notice what returned first. If you have seen the pattern, describe it in the comments, without naming the person.